Now, this is a really innocent picture of Elon Musk. So what I want our people to see is when you look at this picture, and then when we give this news with this picture, probably you would feel like, oh, this is good. It's a good, it's a good perception out there, right? But then, if the same news, same Neuralink comes from this guy, you may actually just take that with precaution and then see what this Neuralink does. Now, did that do that to you, Sean? Like when you I know my haircut is not the best, but I do have a reason.
I still trust you regardless of your hairstyle.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a good one. So this is a good picture. And then here, let's talk about over this picture because this is the latest one, right?
Yeah. So obviously the first one looks like it was a professional headshot. Looks like maybe it has some makeup. The lighting's all perfect. Whereas this right here is a screenshot from his live stream interview he had the other day. And obviously he's rocking a new hairstyle there, keeping it short on the sides. But, overall, like you're saying, it's just the image and, what immediately jumps to your mind, maybe like the mad scientist here. What is he trying to work on as opposed to the professional?
That's the Spider-Man, the evil guy on the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right. So now, actually, by the way, I haven't seen Spider-Man for so long, so people think that I'm just watching them. So now we are not going to talk about Elon Musk. I personally do like him. He's a visionary guy, and I think as long as he's managed to a degree, because some really smart people, they can go crazy, and he may be at that point maybe in the next couple of years if he's going with this direction. But I think what we want to discuss is the Neuralink. Neuralink is it's been out there for a while. So, and then Elon Musk actually started investing on this in the last couple of years. So we wanted to share this, what may be coming for healthcare in the near future. So, Sean, you prepped some stuff for us. If you can kind of explain from what your understanding is with these articles, and then we can have some conversation around this.
Yeah, sure. So, as you said, he has been investing and kind of working on this idea of Neuralink for the past few years now. For those who are maybe not as familiar, basically it's the idea of a microchip being inserted in the brain and kind of interworking and communicating with the neurons in the brain to sort of have some type of artificial intelligence aspect and features take over, which you'll see later on when we mention the monkey as an example. But obviously the idea that the brain being the power engine of the whole body, how it communicates. One of the main focuses Elon always mentions in his interviews is the fact that he's trying to hopefully have people who have paralysis utilize this Neuralink. That way the neuron signals are still able to communicate throughout the body. So the idea here is this artificial intelligence chip and being able to promote the overall health of obviously people. I think he said in his article he's hoping by April of 22 to be able to get it in actual human beings. As for right now, they're doing it in test animals. So, monkey.
Sometime in 2022.
Yeah. But yeah, right now it's just being used in obviously labs testing with our monkeys or pigs in the one example. But yeah, just overall the artificial intelligence and the positive impact that it'll have on humans and healthcare and the health of people as a whole.
So like we have read several different articles together. So part of the I think in this case part of the issues what we understood in the examples that they are given, actual brain functioning just fine. So the brain signals don't have any problems. So it's just those signals to be transmitted into the body, and then if the body can actually function. So I can see how useful that is. But but then I'm going to try to play the video. So then let's just hear it again. So there's more into this because there's more into the AI learning, what you are doing and who you are, and then how actually it can maybe change who you are, if it can be if the advancement gets to a certain point, it may be out of control, honestly. So let's actually, usually when we play these, they're not the greatest. I'm gonna make sure that I do this right. And then share sound is on. Let's see how it goes.
So Neuralink, we have Neuralink's working well in monkeys, and we're also doing.
So hold on one second. I just need to make sure I increase.
Just a lot of testing and just confirming that it's very safe and reliable, and that the Neuralink device can be removed safely. People may have seen the demo that we published earlier this year, the video of a monkey playing the video game Pong telepathically using the Neuralink in its brain, and it's completely wireless, charges inductively. But basically, the monkey looks completely normal, and yet is playing a video game telepathically, which is, I think, quite profound. We will have, we hope to have this in our first humans, which will be people that have severe spinal cord injuries, like tetraplegics, quadriplegics, next year, pending FDA approval. And I should say our standards for implanting the device are substantially higher than what the FDA requires, just as our standards for safety with Tesla are much higher than what the US government requires. And I'll take a little more than 60 seconds.
Yes, I'm about to cut you off.
Because I think there's something that's I think pretty cool, and I do want to say that I'm very, emphasis on cautiously optimistic about this. I think we have a chance with Neuralink of being able to restore full body functionality to someone who has a spinal cord injury. Meaning,
I think that's kind of like that's important to kind of understand what it is that he's trying to do, and then it's going to be useful. So we have to be optimistic. So today we are doing surgeries with robotic surgeries, and it's totally different world that we live in. But I think one of the concerns that I had, one is with this monkey. Actually, this monkey does more than what they're saying it's doing. Now, Ethan or John or one of my people, if they can actually let me know if the sound quality when we are playing the video is okay.
This is Pager. He's a 9-year-old macaque who had a Neuralink placed in each side of his brain about 6 weeks ago. If you look carefully, you can see that the fur on his head hasn't quite fully grown back yet. He's learned to interact with a computer for a tasty banana smoothie delivered through a straw. We can interact with the Neuralinks simply by pairing them to an iPhone, just as you might pair your phone to a Bluetooth speaker. The links record from more than 2,000 electrodes implanted in the regions of Pager's motor cortex that coordinate hand and arm movements. Neurons in this region modulate their activity with intended hand movement. For example, some might become more active when he moves his hand up, and others when he moves it to the right. By recording from many neurons and feeding their activity into a decoder algorithm, we are...
So basically, the people who are interested in that, they can actually watch this. But there's one other video, if I can bring it up, where this is the Neuralink monkey, and then there's a Neuralink pig. So this is, let's see how this is playing.
Okay, this is a high energy pig. All right, Gertrude, thanks for coming out. So what the beeps you're hearing are real-time signals from the.
Are you trying to share the screen as well, or
next to neurons that are in her snout? So whenever she snuffles around and touches something with her snout, that sends out
there you go.
neural spikes, which are detected here. And so on the screen, Gertrude, thanks for coming out. Neuralink connects to neurons that are in her snout. So whenever she snuffles around and touches something with her snout, that sends out neural spikes, which are detected. Each of the spikes from the then you can see pig. Initially shy, but
so in this one, there are 3 different pigs. One Neuralink was implanted and just taken out. In the other case, it stayed for a couple of weeks or a couple.
I think they said it was 2 months or so. It was
last one, 2 months. It stays there. The last one is going to stay there.
Oh, so, yeah, the last one. Yeah, the one that they removed it from was a few weeks. Yep.
Yeah, so that actually is the one maybe the concerning part is maybe there, because if we are going to make this chip learn everything that we are doing now, I'll tell you this, I would probably do it. So, call me crazy, but that's what it is. So I would do it. I would if it's once it's approved, then I would just have one on my brain, and then just I'll use it if I need it. But we still need to be careful. So this last video that we are going to play.
Say tomorrow you get a phone call from Joe Biden and he says...
I think that's unlikely, but sure.
Okay.
At least no one at Tesla is actually...
Everyone is talking about the infrastructure plan and the bill, and I wanted to ask you, say tomorrow you get a phone call from Joe Biden and he says...
I think that's unlikely, but sure.
Okay. He just gives you a call and he says, I haven't been talking a lot about Tesla lately, but what do you need from this bill? What are your needs? What do you answer him?
To be totally frank, I don't know if at least no one at Tesla has actually brought up whether they care about this bill or not. I think if this bill happened or didn't happen, I don't know. We don't think about it at all, really.
Okay.
It might be better. Honestly, it might be better if the bill doesn't pass, because we've spent so much money. It's like the federal budget deficit is insane. It's like $3 trillion federal expenditures are $7 trillion. Federal revenue is $4 trillion. That's a $3 trillion.
So part of this is the same person talking about 2 different issues, right? So then he's in charge of the Neuralink, who's going to change the way that who we are. And then again, some people really need to change. I don't have any problem with that. Some people should change. Especially those who think they shouldn't change, they definitely need to change. But in how we can actually control this without killing the creativity is kind of important. So when he talks about Tesla and the government and other stuff, and then how government needs to stay out of everything else, but then he's in charge of something that's going to change the entire behavior, human behavior, or animal behavior. In that case, I think it's kind of like scary in a way.
Yeah, I mean, if you even just think of that one video where he was saying that the certain level of safety and caution that they're taking actually supersedes that the FDA even required in the first place, kind of just makes you step back for like how are these like insanely low, requirements that the FDA is having as their bar that for us to eventually put these microchips in these people's brains, that he said that, obviously Tesla and Neuralink are going to surpass their safety precautions, which obviously is a good thing that they're not at this bare minimum threshold, but kind of just makes you wonder, like, are there other things that are out there that maybe aren't surpassing it, these thresholds,
Well, no, definitely there are other things that it should be there should be a good way to monitor this. It cannot be just like well, let him do what he wants to do. Versus it has to be watched very clearly, carefully, not clearly, but carefully. So it is something that we need to know what may be happening now. I personally do believe that there is some other development, like in the countries like China, who may be already cloning people, like human beings. So, like, because there's already the monkey and other animals already happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did it already. Now they're going to clone it now, but again, 2 years from now, when that comes out, I need you to give me credit for that. So.
Heard it here first.
Because they're hiding these things, they're keeping them a secret because they don't. Some of them are unethical, some of them are they want to keep it so then others don't know. But anyhow, so